속 한 구절 스치는 풍경 내 맘을 흔들어 누가 시킨 것도 아닌데 왜 이리 바쁠까 내 스케치북엔 추억이 가득
their home. On some days, there are more than 10,000 birds that gather here. Some of them can even be found next to the former border strip.
Well, I was actually born in the town of Gotha. I remember watching these migrating birds fly away, and telling myself as a boy that these birds did not know what it meant to be in captivity. They can fly to Africa, to Southern Europe, and wherever they want. It's amazing, though, that storks have made it to this area here as well. I love hearing romantic stories like those.
When we first reintroduced the storks into this area, we made sure that they were all free-flying species. We discovered a number of young storks on the other side of the border, only 3 kilometers away from here. We decided to open up an aviary here on this side, and soon after we've had 7 storks fly over here. Five of them were young, and 2 of them were adult birds. We were so happy when they made it to our side.
And did these same young storks then leave your aviary to migrate all the way to Africa as well?
Yes, we actually mixed these young storks in with other migrating storks that had come into our aviary. Generally, when these birds get used to humans, they tend to forget about their migration altogether, as food is provided. But luckily, they left, and our experiment of placing these young birds amongst all the others did not go to waste.
Would you say that you created more of an artificial environment for them at the beginning, where food was being provided and so on? I mean, what's really important ultimately is that these birds learn how to find food by themselves, and that they learn to settle wherever there is food in the natural environment.
Well, in 1982, we only had 1 pair of storks, and that was for the entire state of Hesse.
And over the years, more pairs of storks have settled in this region. It is something to be proud of. Andreas continues to walk through the area that the storks call their home. Once again, he is pulled away from the east-west border, and this time his journey takes him to the legendary Eisenach. Towering high above the city, one finds the old Wartburg Castle, a World Heritage Site, whose 1,000-year-old walls tell 100 stories. It is currently being renovated, but the doves of St. Elizabeth can still be seen. Cleo, on the other hand, must be thinking about her next meal. Even Luther and Goethe spent much time here.
The view from up here is absolutely amazing. Look at the Wartburg Castle. Looks as if it grew straight out of the rocks. I think it's the prettiest castle in all of Thuringia. I can even see my hometown of Gotha from here. There are also tons of raptors that can be seen up here.
One of them being the common buzzard, which has eyes sharp enough to see what's crawling at the border over there. The bomb crews near Ifta, which is dedicated to the memory of the Iron Curtain, can even be seen from the air. Andreas Keeling continues hiking towards the north. It's still possible to recognize marks left behind by the border strip. Soon he will reach the ancient forest of Hainich, which was used as a military training area during the Cold War. Today, however, it represents one of Germany's most enchanting beech forests. True ancient forests do not exist in Germany anymore, but the Hainich is the closest replica of a once ancient forest, where immense beech trees grew tall and old.
The Hainich must be the prettiest forest I've seen on my entire journey so far. The beech trees surrounding it must be at least 150 to 200 years old. Let's not forget that this forest used to be under the control of the East German People's Army for a long time. In 1997, however, the entire forest area was turned into a national park.
There is an indescribable calm and strength about this forest. The rangers tend to allow nature to do its thing here without interrupting. Cleo feels right at home here too.
What's really special about this forest is that everything has been kept natural. When a tree dies off or falls over, it's left here and is not removed. And actually, these trees are still full of life. There are insects living in them, which woodpeckers and other birds feed on. And the trees provide necessary nesting grounds.
Fallen trees are used wisely by woodpeckers inhabiting the hainage. With so many varieties of woodpecker species in Germany, whether it's the great spotted woodpecker, the black woodpecker, or the green woodpecker, there is more than enough food in this region alone for the great spotted woodpeckers of Germany. And the forest nourishes all kinds of senses this time of year, especially when it comes to the scent of blooming white flower beds, upon which Andreas will come across soon.
The entire forest smells like an herb garden, especially these white flower buds right here, which belong to the wild garlic plant. It's actually a very old vegetable that has an extremely strong garlicky taste and smell. It's most potent and tasty just before the flowers bloom. Cleo, I can't believe you want to eat that plant. Dogs usually hate the taste of wild garlic.
Amidst all the spring blossoms, there are also animals, of course, and some of them tend to leave their marks behind.
What we've got here is a typical wild boar wallow. As you can see, the water is quite murky still, which means that the boars were here not too long ago, possibly last night or just this morning. Boars need to wallow regularly in order to get rid of parasites, but they also do this to regulate their body temperatures, as pigs in general are not able to sweat. So they like to cool off in these mud baths. Cleo seems quite excited. I guess the boars aren't too far away from here. I'll take my chance. Cleo, come.
And indeed, Cleo senses something.
Why are you pulling like that, Cleo? Enough. There's a fawn lying right in front of us. It's no more than 3 or 4 days old. Generally, they don't admit any scent that early on in life. That way, they protect themselves from predators such as foxes. But Cleo was able to smell this fawn. I assume the mother is not too far away from here, possibly observing me. So I think it's better if she leaves.
Mother deers don't worry too much about leaving their fawns behind in calm parts of the forest, since fawns are naturally protected by their camouflaged fur that resembles the woods. And deep in the heart of the Hainich forest, and not too far away from here, lies one of the oldest trees in Germany. Meet the ancient begging oak tree.
It's said that this famous oak tree is at least 1,000 years old. But actually, it's really difficult to determine the exact age of such old trees, because in order to find out, one would have to take core samples. The problem is that most of these old trees do not have any core wood anymore, because it's rotted away over the years.
Wildcats also make the Hainich forest their home. They need the forest to survive, and thus they can only be found in the very few remaining forests of Germany these days. People even tend to mix them up with domestic cats, though it's easy to tell the difference just by looking at the ringed pattern of their tails or their facial features. Yet there is no difference between both cat species when it comes to preying on mice. The Haymitch Forest has left a permanent impression on Andreas. He now continues his journey past the Barra Valley Lakes and towards the Eidsfeld, where he will come across a band of raccoons. He'll then continue his trek towards the Harz mountain range, where a mystical cave and an exciting underwater dive await him.
가온 세월의 흔적이 보여 마지막 여정 설레는 마음으로 그려나가리 내 스케치